Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So today we are going to start the new chapter, that is Panchayati Raj, in our series of Polity through MCQ series. And today we are going to start the chapter Panchayati Raj. Now first of all I will give you the information and explanation of the chapter, and then we will solve plenty of MCQs, around 50 to 55, 57 MCQs in total, which are going to help you revise this chapter very effectively. Now, as we know that the Constitution of India provides for a federal structure. So what does this federal structure means? That there is parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha at the central level, and then there comes the state legislature, in which there is state legislative assemblies, and in 6 states there is state legislative assemblies as well as state legislative council. Now, as we know that 70% of India resides in village, so democracy at grassroots level was very necessary. That is why the provision of Panchayati Raj came. Now, just for a matter of fact, you should know, confuse mat hona, the provisions for the Panchayati Raj were not mentioned in the original constitution that was enacted on 26 November 1949. The Panchayati Raj or the Panchayati Raj became constitutional body or was given the constitutional status by 73rd Amendment Act of 1992. Okay, so Panchayati Raj basically means democracy at the grassroots level. Now, let us see about the evolution of the Panchayati Raj. So, the Panchayati Raj was given, the constitutional was set up by the recommendation of the Balwant Rai Mehta committee. This committee was established in the year 1957 and it propagated the three-tier machinery. Now, what were the specific recommendations that were made by the Balwant Rai Mehta committee? Was first of all, it advocated three-tier mechanism or three-tier structure for the Panchayati Raj system. Now, what was this level? Now, at the base level or the grassroots level, there was Gram Panchayat. At the village level. Now, what was at the intermediate level? So, Panchayati Samiti. Panchayati Samiti was at the block level, and the topmost tier constituted Zilla Parishad at district level. Okay. So this was the first provision which was given by the Balwant Rai Mehta committee. Now, the second provision was that the village panchayat, this Gram Panchayat or the village panchayat constituted the members that were elected directly. Okay, and the members of the Zilla Parishad and the Panchayati Samitis, both of them members were to be elected indirectly. Okay, now third was the third system was the third provision was all the planning and the development activities should be entrusted to these three bodies. Okay, the fourth one was the level at Panchayati level, that was the Panchayat Samiti at the intermediate level will be the executive body, while the Zilla Parishad, which was at the top, was to be advisory, coordinating and supervisory body. Okay, I'll repeat it once again. The Panchayati Samiti at the intermediate level, it used to be the executive body, whereas the Zilla Parishad was an advisory, coordinating as well as the supervisory body. Now, just a fact you should know that Rajasthan was the first state to establish the Panchayati Raj. Okay, and Nagaur was the district where it was established, and after Rajasthan, the second state to follow or to implement the Panchayati Raj was Andhra Pradesh. Okay, you should know the name of these two states. Now, then came the Ashok Mehta committee. This committee gave recommendations in the year 1977. Now, you should also know the chronology. And also the Ashok Mehta committee recommended a two-tier machinery. What was the two-tier machinery? That the Zilla Parishad should be at the district level. That was also propagated by the Balwant Rai Mehta committee. the Zilla Parishad at the district level was to be there, and at second level there should be a Mandal Panchayat. And what was this Mandal Panchayat? It constituted a group of villages having total population of 15,000 to 20,000. However, these provisions were not accepted, and the Panchayati Raj was formalized on the basis of the recommendations of the Balwant Rai Mehta Committee. Okay, just this only information you need to know, that the Balwant Rai Mehta Committee recommended 3-tier machinery, whereas Ashok Mehta Committee recommended the 2-tier model. Now there was also another committee, that was GKV Rao Committee in 1985. So this you also need to know. However, let me tell you a thing, you should note this thing right now. It is the chronology of the committees that were established, and one question, if the paper is of a factual kind, one question is definitely going to be asked from this topic. Okay, now Balwant Rai Mehta Committee was formed in the year 1957. Then second was the Ashok Mehta Committee in 1977. Just note down the chronology. The GKV Rao Committee was made in the year 1985. Then again a committee was made, which name was LM Singhvi Committee, and it was made in the year 1986, just 1 year after the GKV Rao Mehta Committee. Sorry, GKV Rao Committee. Okay, then Thangan Committee in the year 1988, and lastly there was Gadgil Committee. This was also made in the year 1988. So you should know the name of these committee, that Gadgil, Thangan Committee, LM Singhvi, GKV Rao Committee. All of these committees are related with the Panchayati Raj system. Okay, now this was the evolution. The 73rd Amendment Act of 1992, this gave the constitutional status to the Panchayati Raj system. Now the Panchayati Raj is mentioned, is given under part 9 of the constitution, okay, by the title the Panchayat. It is the name of the chapter, the Panchayats, mentioned in part 9A, and on the other hand part 9A mein municipalities are mentioned. We will study this in the next chapter. Okay, so part 9 there is Panchayats, and it extends from article 243 to article 243O. Okay, and apart from part 9 that was added by the 73rd amendment, and next a schedule, that is schedule 11, was also added. Okay, that contains 29 functions that were assigned to the Panchayat. Okay, so part 9 contained the articles, the provisions of the Panchayat. Also the 73rd Amendment Act added schedule 11 that contained 29 functions that were to be performed by the Panchayat. Now, was there any provision that was mentioned in the constitution before constitutionalizing the Panchayats? Yes, there was article 40. You need to know the article 40 of the DPSP that explained the organization of village panchayats and endow them with such responsibilities and function. Okay, now let us see the features of the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. Now, what are the salient features of the act? Firstly, there is Gram Sabha. Now, what is Gram Sabha? It is the foundation of the Panchayat system in India. Now, it is a body that consists of a persons that are registered in the electoral roll of the area, within the area of that Panchayat. So Gram Sabha consists of the list of the person who are registered in the electoral roll of the area of that Panchayat. The first feature was of Gram Sabha, and we will see in some time that these Gram Sabha are given significant powers when the PESA Act was constitutionalized. Now, the PESA Act of 1966, 1996, it gave power to the Panchayat. It just provided democracy in the tribal areas. So any of the decisions that are needed to be taken in the tribal areas, many of the powers lied with the Gram Sabha. This we will discuss in some time. So Gram Sabha is very important body, you need to know. So it is a body of the person that are registered in the electoral roll. Secondly, there is a 3-tier system. At the village level, there is Panchayat Samiti. As the intermediate level, there is another provision. What? That is of Panchayat Samiti. And the Panchayat Samiti is to be constituted wherever the pollution is not more than 20 lakhs. Now, then there is at district level, there is Zilla Parishad. This I have already explained you. I hope you have understood it. Now, what about the election of the members? Now, all members of the panchayat at the village level, at the intermediate level, and the district level are to be elected directly by the people. Further, the chairpersons of the panchayat at intermediate and district level, the chairpersons at intermediate and the district level are to be elected indirectly. How the election is done? So all the members of all these three levels are to be elected directly. Now the chairpersons at the intermediate as well as the district level are to be elected indirectly. Okay. Now the method of elections of the selection of the chairpersons is to be determined by the state legislature. Okay, I hope this is a bit complex point, but I am able to clear it. Okay, so the chairpersons at intermediate and district level, these are to be elected indirectly by the peoples, which are elected by the normal people, and the manner of the elections and the determination is to be done by the state legislature. Now, what about the reservation of seats? So, under Article 243D, there is a provision for reservation of seats for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in every panchayat given there in proportion of the population. Okay. Further, the state legislature has the power to provide for the reservation of the offices of the chairperson. Matlab, if there is a seat where the chairperson is to be elected in a scheduled caste or scheduled tribe area, then the chairperson is to be the chairperson should be the scheduled caste or scheduled tribe only. Okay, and the state legislature provides for this role. Okay, another provision in the reservation of seats is not less than 1/3 of the total number of seats for women is to be reserved. Okay, and not less than 1/3 number of offices of the chairpersons in the panchayat at each level shall be reserved for women. Okay, so 1/3 reservation, normal reservation, and 1/3 reservation for the seats of chairperson is also there. This provision is also there. Now, what about the duration of the panchayat? So the normal tenure of the panchayat is 5 years. However, the panchayats can be dissolved before the completion of the term. However, if a new panchayat is to continue, it is going to serve for the remainder period of the time, not for the complete 5 years. Now, for example, if a panchayat is dissolved after 2 years, so the remainder term is 3 years more. As we know that the total duration of the panchayat is 5 years. So when a new panchayat is elected, so the new panchayat will run only for 3 years. That is the remainder period of time. Okay, this is what this provision is trying to say. Now, what about the disqualifications? So a person is disqualified from the panchayat under any law for which the state legislature may determine. Also, 21 years of age is the minimum to contest elections for the panchayat. Now then there is a provision of state election commission. Now the state election commission has the power to conduct elections for the panchayat at the state level. However, one point here to note is that the election commission of India is responsible to conduct elections for the seats of Lok Sabha as well as the state legislative assemblies. The state election commission has only been entrusted with the responsibility of conducting elections for the post of at the panchayat levels. Okay, now powers and functions, these have been added in the schedule 11. of which 29 functions have been assigned to the panchayats. Okay, now next is about the exempted areas. What are the exempted areas where the panchayati system does not apply? So this include the area of Meghalaya, Mizoram and Nagaland. MMN. These are the three areas where the panchayati system is not there. Okay. Now there is also provision for appointment of a state finance commission, which is which is constituted by the governor of the state under Article 243I, which is assigned the role of determining the financial positions of the panchayat. Okay, however, there is a provision that Central Finance Commission, which is constituted under Article 280, also recommends the provisions and also augment funds for the panchayat of the country. Okay, now next is about the 11th schedule, which has also been added by the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992, and 29 items are there. Now some of the things that I will mention here is this you need to know. आपको ये लगेगा कि these provisions are not there or these provisions are not under the power that are assigned to the panchayat, but you need to know that the public distribution system, okay, of the grains, that also comes under the 29 powers that are assigned to the panchayat. Then there is small scale industries, food processing industries, etc. These are also assigned. Non-conventional source of energy. Non-conventional energy sources means traditional sources of energy, that also comes. And poverty alleviation programs, these also come under the 11th schedule. Okay, so you just need to know these provisions. Now there is a mention of compulsory as well as voluntary provisions. So all of the compulsory provisions that I have mentioned in the features are compulsory features, such as there is Gram Sabha. Secondly, there is a direct election to the members. Then there is indirect elections for the post of chairpersons at the intermediate as well as the district level. Okay, 21 years is going to be the minimum age. That is also a provision. Other than that, reservation of the seats for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe at all three levels. This is also a compulsory provision. Other than that, 5 years tenure of the panchayat, and establishment of state election commission for conducting elections for the panchayat is also a provision. Other than that, 1/3 seats that are reserved for women is also a compulsory provision. Now if I talk about the voluntary provisions, all the decision regarding the voluntary provisions are determined by the state legislature. Also, voluntary provisions constitute a provision in which representation of the member of the parliament of both the houses, that means Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, as well the state legislature, can be given representation at panchayat level. Secondly, reservation of seats for the backward classes at panchayats at any level is also a provision which is given. Okay, now let us see the PESA Act. What is the PESA Act? So the PESA Act, that is Panchayat Extension to Schedule Areas Act of 1996. Now it gave extension to the Panchayati Raj provision, as we have seen in the special provisions which are given to the states. There we have seen that there is a set of tribal culture having different cultural identity than the rest of India. So the Panchayati Raj system constitutes the democracy at the grassroots level. So democracy should also be the right of every people that are living in the scheduled areas and the tribal areas. So by this PESA Act, this function of democracy and participation of the people in the democracy of our country was extended to these scheduled areas. Now 10 states and all the states that were in the 5th schedule came under this. So Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha and Rajasthan are the states till where these provisions extend. Now let me tell you some of the objectives. I've already to extend the provisions of part 9, self-rule for the tribal people. This is the only objective of the PESA Act. Now what are the features of the act? Now first of all, first feature is the state legislation on the panchayat in the scheduled area shall be in the accordance of the customary law, social and religious practices of the people living in that scheduled area. Okay, so this is but obvious that the cultural security and the cultural rights and the community rights of the tribal area should be ensured. Also, there should be Gram Sabha consisting of those members which are registered in the electoral roll of that area. Now the Gram Sabha shall be competent to safeguard the preserve and tradition of the custom of the country. Okay, custom of that area. Now the Gram Sabha certifies, this is what I was talking about, that the Gram Sabha is assigned a very important role in the PISA Act. Now the Gram Sabha Act certifies the utilization of fund for any of the plan, projects and programs that are implemented in these areas. Okay. Now there is also provision for reservation of seats in scheduled area in every panchayat. Okay. Now it is given on the basis of population. However, the reservation which is given to scheduled tribe shall not be less than half of the total number of seats. It means if there are 10 seats in the panchayat, 5 of them are to be filled with the members of the scheduled tribe only. Okay. Further, all the seats of the chairpersons shall be reserved for the scheduled tribe. It means that the chairperson at the panchayat, the chairman person of the at the intermediate or the district level which is appointed, is compulsorily to be the scheduled tribe. Now a provision was also there that the state government may nominate such tribe which has no representation in panchayats. Okay, the scheduled tribes which have no representation in panchayats, they can also be given representation by the state government. Okay, now the Gram Sabha or the panchayat at appropriate level shall be consulted before making acquisition of land in scheduled areas. Okay, so also the recommendation of Gram Sabha is needed for granting prospecting license for mining. So a Gram Sabha plays a very important role in the PISA Act. Okay, now let me tell you about the finances of the Panchayati Raj. So these are given under part 9. Under article 243I, there is constitution of State Finance Commission. So how does the Panchayati Raj institution gets their money? सबसे पहले तो grants are given by the union which are recommended further by the finance commission that is constituted under article 280. Then there is devolution from the state government, devolution of funds from the state government as per the finance commission of state that is constituted under article 243I. Then the loans and grants are given by the state government. Then program specific allocation is being made which is given by the central government. Okay, and then there are some of the powers, that is internal resource generation, some of the internal powers which helps the panchayat, some type of taxes are levied by the panchayat that helps them to earn some revenue. So this was all about the explanation part. Now now let's straight away move to the question and solve some of the questions. Let's now start with question number 1. A panchayat elected in the place of a dissolved one does not enjoy the full period but remains in office for the remaining period after the dissolution. Yes, it is absolutely true. I also gave you the example that the normal tenure of the panchayat is around 5 years. Now, if the panchayats get dissolved in the premature period, that is, let us say that the panchayat gets dissolved after working for 2 years. So the new panchayat that will be constituted is going to work for the remainder period of 3 years. That panchayat will not get the next full term of 5 years. So the panchayat that comes in the power for the remaining period does works for the remaining period, not the whole period. So the first statement is absolutely correct. Second is, in panchayat, seats are reserved for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and women, but not for the backward class of the citizen. I told you in the explanation part that in the panchayats there are two type of provisions. The first one are the compulsory provisions. These compulsory provisions are provided by the 73rd Amendment Act only. whereas the other are the voluntary provisions. Now these voluntary provisions are determined by the state legislature from time to time, and the backward class reservation of seat for the backward classes of the citizens are given under the voluntary provisions, whereas under the compulsory provisions under article 243d of the constitution, the reservation is provided for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and women. But do remember a thing, the reservation for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe is as per the basis of the population, whereas if I talk about the women, one third reservation is given to the women. Okay, this one third clause is not there for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. They are given reservation as per their population. Okay, but the women reservation is fixed to around one third. Now here both the statement are true, so 1 and 2 both are correct. Next is, the courts have no jurisdiction to examine the validity of a law relating to delimitation of the constituencies or allotment of seats in respect of panchayat. Now in the parliament chapter we have seen there is a formation of delimitation committee. Now the decisions that are made by this committee are regarding the allocation of seats in the Lok Sabha after every census. Okay, now this can be constituted after census also or general elections also. So the decisions that are made by the delimitation commissions are binding and no court of law action can be taken, or no examination of validity of law is related can be done by the courts. The delimitation committee, the decision that is given by them is final and binding. Okay, so with the courts no jurisdiction lies. The next statement is, an election to a panchayat can be called in the question only by election petition, which should be presented to such authority in such manner as may be prescribed by the State Election Commission. So this matter is not prescribed by the State Election Commission but the state legislature and not the State Election Commission. That is why the second statement is wrong. So the correct answer would be only 1. Let us now see the next question, that is, consider the following statements. The 11th schedule was inserted in the Constitution of India by the Constitution 73rd Amendment Act of 1992. This is absolutely correct. The act gave the constitutional status to panchayats. Now let us see the second statement. The 11th schedule of the Constitution, the 11th schedule that confers 29 functions and 29 powers to the panchayats, corresponds to article 243W of the Constitution. No, the article is wrong. It is not article 243W but 243G. Okay, which gives the power, authority and the responsibility to the panchayat. So the second statement here is false. The first one is true. A is the correct answer. Let's now move to question number 4. Consider the following statement and we have to say the correct statement here. According to article 243D, 1/3 of the seats are reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in every panchayat. Now I already told you that there is no clause of 1/3 seat for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. 1/3 seats are reserved only for women, and the seat reservation for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe is as per their population. So the first statement is absolutely incorrect here. So let us see the options now. Let us straight away eliminate this first statement. Directly we will come to the answer, that is 2 and 3. But let us see the options as well. Not less than 1/3 of the total number of seats reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in every panchayat are reserved for women. Yes. Belonging to the scheduled caste, as the case may be, the scheduled tribe. Yes, the reservation of seats, 1/3 seats is there for women. Not less than 1/3 of the total number of offices of chairperson in the panchayat at each level are reserved for women. This provision is also given under article 243D. So the second and third statement here is true. That is why B is the correct answer here. Let's now see, we have completed the concept, so we are going to solve these questions quickly. If you want to solve this question, just pause the video and then solve, and then you can see the explanation part. On which of the following subject there is a finance commission of the state constituted under part 9 of the Constitution of India make recommendation to the governor. Now what is the primary work of the finance commission? Now, with relation to the state, these are there to devolution of the tax between the state legislature and the panchayat. So now let us see the responsibilities of the Finance Commission. Distribution between the state and the panchayat of net proceeds of the tax by the state. Yes, absolutely correct. Next is determination of the taxes which may be assigned or appropriated by the panchayats. Absolutely true. Next is grants in aid to the panchayat from the consolidated fund of the state. Yes, all the statements are generic and all of these ensure the responsibility of the Finance Commission, the aim, the objective for which the Finance Commission is constituted in the state legislature. So 1, 2 and 3, all the statement here are correct. A is the right answer. Now in question number 6, we have to say which of the following is not correct. Let us see the options. Part 9 of the Constitution of India pertaining to the panchayats provide for setting up of the Finance Commission. Absolutely correct. Next is Part 9 of the Constitution of India pertaining to the panchayat provide for vesting all elections of the panchayats in the State Election Commission. Yes, this point you need to know that the Election Commission of India is asserted with the responsibility of conducting the elections for the state of Lok Sabha. The Election Commission of India has the responsibility to conduct elections for the state legislative assembly of the states as well as the Lok Sabha elections. Okay. So the election of president and vice president is also conducted by the Election Commission of India. Whereas if I talk about the State Election Commission, it has the sole responsibility to conduct elections for the panchayats. Okay. Now, second one is also true. Let us see the third statement here. Part 9 of the Constitution of India pertaining to the panchayats provided for reservation of post of chairperson at the village or any other level for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and women. Yes. Organization of village panchayat is not included in the directive principle of state policy. The statement is absolutely wrong. There is DPSP under Article 40 of the Constitution, which explicitly says the organization of village panchayats. So the D statement is not correct here. Now, the 73rd Amendment of the Constitution of India, it provides for 2 tier of panchayat. No. 2 tier. No. It provides for 3 tier of panchayat at village, block and district level. At the village level, there is Panchayati Samiti. At the block level, there is, and at the district level, there is Zila Parishad. At the block level, there is Gram Panchayat, and at the district level, there is Panchayati Samiti. Okay. So 3 tier is envisaged, and which of the committee is responsible? So the name of the committee is Balwant Rai Mehta Committee. It was constituted in the year 1956, which gave its report in the year 1957. Now D is the correct answer. Let's now see question number 8. Who makes provision with respect to the maintenance of accounts by the panchayat and auditing of such accounts? So all the provisions regarding the maintenance of accounts of panchayat and responsibilities of panchayat, these are vested in the legislature of the state. So B is the correct answer here. Now let us see question number 9. The question number 9 is the state election commissioner can be removed by the governor, by the state assembly, through an order issued by the chief minister, or through a procedure similar to that of the removal of the judge of the high court. Now I already told you that the judges when I was teaching you the Supreme Court chapter, the judges of the Supreme Court or High Court can be removed through a special procedure when a resolution is passed by the parliament and both the houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, pass it by special majority. Now the same procedure is being followed for the members of UPSC as well as the state election commissioner and the chairman of UPSC as well. Okay, so that is the same process that is there for the removal of the High Court judge. I hope you have read those lectures, you have studied those lectures. If yes, then you will be easily able to solve this question without knowing any of the provisions of the Panchayati elections. Okay. Now let us see the question number 10. Consider the following statement. Now in the post 73rd Amendment era, that is era beyond the year 1993, there has to be decentralization of what? Now let us see the options here. Decision making powers. Yes, there has been decision making power. Devolution. How? As the Panchayati Raj institution was given the constitutional status. it is Gram Panchayat at the lowest level, and in the Gram Panchayat the main body is Gram Sabha. Now we have known that the Gram Sabha takes majority of the decisions, and Gram Sabha is responsible for implementing many of the schemes. Okay, so the decision making power, obviously we have seen a devolution in the decision making power. Now there is a decentralization in system as a whole. Absolutely. How central government mein there is Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Then when we come to the state legislature, there is state legislative assembly and there is state legislative council in 6 states. Beneath there is Panchayati Raj institutions, that are PRIs, in which there is Zilla Parishad at the district level, then there is Panchayati Samiti at the intermediate level, and then there is Gram Panchayat at the lowest level of the Panchayati Raj institution. So what we are seeing here is at the system as a whole system of the federal structure of our India, we have seen the decentralization, that it is the Gram Sabha at the lowest level, that is the Gram Panchayat, who is responsible for taking majority of the decisions. He is responsible also, and it is as per the Gram Sabha in the PISA Act that majority of the decisions, mineral license, etc., many of the things which are granted when it is given authorization by the Gram Sabha only. So we have seen there is decentralization on whole level. Next, there is judicial powers. No, judicial power has not been decentralized. Why? Because the constitution envisage the integrated judiciary system, where there is Supreme Court at the top, High Court at the middle level, and then there are series of subordinate courts. Okay, so these subordinate courts have nothing to do with the Panchayati Raj institutions, and 73rd Amendment Act does not transfer any of the judicial powers. We have not studied it yet. So no judicial powers are being decentralized. So 3 option is not there. Obviously the answer will be 1, 2 and 4. So B option is correct here. Let's now move to the next thing, that is we have to match the following. The 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act has led to the formation of State Finance Commission under Article 243I, I guess. 74th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1994 is responsible for giving birth to the municipal councils. GVK Rao Committee is related to the administrative arrangement for the rural development, and LM Singhvi Committee in the year 1986 was established, and it provided that constitutional status had been given to the Panchayati Raj, and it is after that 1993 में by the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, this was the constitutional status to the Panchayati Raj institutions were given. So what will be the correct answer? We have seen 2314 is correct here. Let's now move to the next question. Which one of the following about Article 243G is correct? Now 243G we can see in Schedule 11 of the Constitution. What is the Schedule 11? That there are 29 functions and powers which are given to the Panchayati Raj institutions. Okay, so 243G is related to law to function as agents, no. Enabled by law to function as institution of self-government, no. Will act as an implementing agency for the centrally sponsored schemes, no. Yes, these are given powers. Yes, statement B is true. It has nothing to do with D, C and A. The Panchayati Raj institutions powers and functions have been mentioned, so this is directly mentioned in this option. That is why 12 ka B is the right answer. Now the next question is 13. The chairperson of a panchayat at district level is elected in such manner as the legislature of the state may provide. Now, the chairperson at district level is elected indirectly. The chairman person of the at the district level is elected indirectly by the elected members. Okay, so the first statement is not true here. Next is legislature of a state may provide for representation of members of the legislative assembly of the state representing constituencies which comprise wholly or partly a panchayat area. Yes, correct. Third is the Lok Sabha may provide for the representation of its member representing community constituencies which comprise wholly or partly. It is not the Lok Sabha but the state legislative assembly that may provide. So if we talk about the correct statement here, only the second statement is correct. Let's now move to the next question, that is the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act does not apply. So I have already mentioned in the explanation part the name of the 3 states where it does not apply, that is Meghalaya, Mizoram and Nagaland. These are the 3 states. Okay, so it is Meghalaya where it does not apply. Okay, 14 ka A is the correct answer. Let's now see question number 15. The Constitution of India provides for a mechanism for a regular flow of funds to the Panchayati Raj institutions. Yes, this is correct. There is Finance Commission of India that recommends to transfer money and it provides money, and grants in aid is also provided. Also there is State Finance Commission which recommends the transfer and the devolution and the distribution of money between the state legislative assemblies and the Panchayati Raj institutions. Okay, now the Panchayati Raj institution have been greatly handicapped in the performance of their assigned duty by the paucity of funds. Yes, paucity of funds is a major problem with the Panchayati Raj institutions. That is why a mechanism has been provided for the regular flow of funds to the Panchayati Raj institution. So here assertion and reason are individually also true, and the reason is also the correct explanation of the assertion that is given. That is why 15 ka A is the right answer. Next is consider the following statement with respect to the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. So let us see the statements now. It envisages the Gram Sabha as the foundation of the Panchayati Raj system. Yes. What is the Gram Sabha? It is the group of the people which are registered in the electoral roll of the area. It provides that the Panchayati Raj bodies will have a duration of 5 years. Absolutely correct. Now, it stipulates that the chairperson of a panchayat shall be elected from amongst and the elected members. Now, the chairperson of panchayat is to be directly elected. That is known as Sarpanch. Okay. He is to be directly elected. Whereas there is a provision of indirect elections for the chairpersons at the intermediate level, that is the Panchayat Samiti, and then at the topmost level of the Panchayati Raj institution, that is Zilla Parishad at district level. The members, the chairperson and the members of the Gram Panchayat, okay, at the lowest level are elected directly by the people through the elections, and the chairpersons at the intermediate and the upper level are to be elected indirectly. So number 3 provision is wrong. We will directly eliminate this provision and come to our answer, that is 1 and 2 is correct. Let us see the other option as well. It has reserved 33%. 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act has not reserved 33% or any percentage of the seats for the other backward classes, as this reservation for the other backward classes is a provision which is of the voluntary nature, and these voluntary nature provisions are to be governed by the state legislative assemblies. Under the compulsory provisions under Article 243D of the Constitution, the 73rd Constitutional Amendment provides the reservation of the seats for SC and STs on the basis of their population, whereas for the women 1/3 seats are reserved. I hope these facts are now correctly remembered by you. Okay, so 1 and 2 is the correct answer. Let's now move to the next question. Under which of the following provision is reservation for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe made? It is under Article 243D. I have mentioned it earlier also and also explained in the explanation part. So D is the correct statement here. Let's now move to the next question. Which of the following provision can be made by the state legislature? Okay. Representation of the members of the House of People in Panchayat subject to fulfilling certain conditions. Yes, the state legislature may by law provide the representation of members of the House of People, that is Lok Sabha, okay, in the Panchayats. Next is what? Preservation of seat in any panchayat in favor of backward citizen. I already recently told you that it is a voluntary provision, said it is under the purview of the state legislature. Authorizing a panchayat to levy correct and appropriate tax. Yes, this is also true. So all of the statements are correct. So this question becomes important, and as you need to know, the state legislature has power regarding how many things regarding the panchayats. Okay, so 1, 2 and 3, all of these are correct. Now minimum population below which the panchayat at the intermediate level are not constituted, so this limit is of 20 lakh. I have already mentioned it in the explanation part, so I hope you have answered this correctly. Okay, 19 ka A is right. Now the state finance commission is appointed by the state government every 5 years to determine now the financial conditions of panchayat and the devolution and the distribution of funds between the state legislature and the panchayat. This is simple. Now let us see which of the options has the correct answer. Now the finance resources of state for placing state requirement before the union government, no. 5-year plan, no. Budgetary requirements, no. Pattern of distribution of state tax revenue between the state government and the local bodies, that are the Panchayati Raj institution and the municipalities, and these municipalities have been given the constitutional status under 42nd Amendment Act, and also it allocates the grants in aid to local bodies. So D seems to be the most appropriate answer. D is the correct answer to the question number 20. Let's now see the next question. Which of the following are correct with respect to the 73rd Amendment Act of the Constitution of India? Now it gave the constitutional status to panchayat, absolutely correct. Next is reservation of seats for women belonging to scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, yes, absolutely correct. Then there is providing permanent structure for district planning, no such provision is given. Now the district planning committee, these are mentioned under the 74th Amendment Act, not the 73rd. So directly eliminate the third one. Correct answer will be 1 and 2. The next question is 222. Under which of the following articles of the Constitution the state legislature delegates power and function to the panchayat? Now in the explanation part also I have told you the power to delegate functions is mentioned under Article 243G. So let us see kahan pe mentioned hai. No, here see G is mentioned, and also यहाँ पे आप एक point अपने notes में add कर लेना. It is Article 243G and 243H that delegates power and function to the panchayat. Okay, so here is one important point to know. Article 243H also delegates that power. So C is right. Now we have to match this list. Now Panchayati Raj institution at intermediate levels are called what in which state? So let us see question number 23 now. At Madhya Pradesh, these are known as block panchayats. In West Bengal, these are known as Panchayat Samiti. In Uttar Pradesh, it is known as Kshetra Panchayat, and Gujarat, it is known as Taluk Panchayat. This is just a factual question. You need not ponder around these kinds of questions. Just in case, you just need to know which is called and what in which state. Okay, C is the correct answer. Just एक बार glance कर लेना. No need to worry about these types of questions. Now in 1977, under whose chairmanship the Panchayati Raj Committee was formed? I already told you 1957 में Balwant Rai Mehta Committee was established, and after 20 years, that is in the year 1977, Ashok Mehta Committee was formulated, and this committee propounded the two-tier mechanism for the Panchayati Raj institutions. Now let us see the question number 25. Which of the following statements are correct? Village panchayats are responsible for agriculture production, rural industrial development, maternity and child welfare. Yes, all of this is mentioned, and this is mentioned in Article 243G. Okay, under which 29 functions and powers have been assigned to the Panchayati Raj institution under Schedule 11. It is also mentioned. Now the higher vocational education is under the purview of the state legislature. So the fourth option here is incorrect. That is why 1, 2 and 3 is correct here. Let us now see which of the following state was first to introduce the Panchayati Raj system. It was the Rajasthan state, and the name of the district was Nagaur. Okay, Andhra Pradesh was the second state to introduce it. Okay, so D is the correct answer to C is the correct answer to this question. Now let's move ahead. The 73rd Amendment Act provided for the establishment of panchayat, which also made following provisions. A new schedule, Schedule 11, was added, consisting of 29 subjects. Next is addition of a Schedule 11 listing 18 subjects which are to be handled by panchayat. No, 18 का तो कोई clause ही नहीं है. Let us eliminate statement 2. Okay, now क्या बचा हमारे पास? bar on the courts to question the validity of law relating to delimitation of constituencies. Yes, the statement appears to be true. Fourth question is reservation of not less than 1/3 of the total number of seats in Panchayat for women, not excluding, but including the number of reserved seats belonging to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. 1/3 provision wala clause is absolutely correct, but it is not excluding the number of seats reserved for women belonging to SC and ST communities, but including. So fourth one is also wrong. First and second statement is true. First and third statement is true. So B is the correct answer. Let's now move to the next question. That is question number 28. Which one of the following articles of the Indian Constitution lays that the state shall take steps to organize village panchayats? So it is under Article 40 of the Directive Principle of the State Policy, under which there is a provision for the organization of the Panchayati Raj institutions. So 28 ka A is the correct answer. Let's now move to the next question. Reservation of seats for women in the Panchayati Raj bodies will pave the way for their political empowerment. Absolutely true. And generic statement. Empowerment of women is essential for advancement of democracy and development. So these are very generic and common sense type of questions. It has nothing to do with the provisions that are mentioned under under 73rd Amendment Act. So A here is also true. R is also true. A is the correct answer. I hope you won't find any difficulty in solving these types of questions. Now let us see, panchayats have now been brought under the direct supervision of governor. No, these are constitutional body. गवर्नर का तो कोई कंट्रोल होता ही नहीं है. लेट अस एलिमिनेट क्वेश्चन द स्टेटमेंट फर्स्ट. The Finance Commission of the state now determines the distribution of taxes and duties between the state and the panchayat. Okay, the statement here given is correct. Panchayats are now entitled to receive grants in aid directly from the central government. No, the panchayat receives the grants in aid from the central government, but it is through the recommendation of the Finance Commission, and then these grants are provided by the state legislature, not directly from the central government. So the third statement is also wrong. Okay, so directly we will come to the answer, that is 2 and 4. Fourth wala bhi provision dekhte hain. 1/3 of the seats in the panchayats are not reserved for women. Absolutely correct. So 2 and 4 is right. Next is the Panchayati Raj institutions. The Panchayati Raj is included in obviously the state list. The state legislature has power regarding many of the provisions that are mentioned under the Panchayati Raj institutions in the voluntary list. Okay, so state has, it comes under the state list. Now 73rd Amendment Act emanates from the Article 40, that is a directive principle of state policy, which mentions the organizations of village panchayat, and this is a Gandhian principle under DPSP. All the principal Gandhian, social, intellectual, liberal principles, all of these principles I have already taught in the DPSP chapters. Okay, a playlist has also been made of the polity series. You can go to the channel and watch all these, list all the chapters here. Let us now move to the next question. That is question number 33. Which of the following comprise the Zilla Parishad? Zilla Parishad is the top level, highest level of body, and its recommendation are advisory in nature, and it is also supervises the actions that are taken by the intermediate as well as the Gram Panchayats. The chairman and president of the Panchayat Samiti within the jurisdiction of the district, correct. MP, MLA, MLCs who constitute, these are also the members, and representatives of cooperative society, municipality, notified area committees, yes, these are also members. Healthcare specialists, there is no such provisions of the members which belong to or hail from the healthcare specialist. Okay, so the 4 statement is wrong. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 statement is correct. That is why B is our correct answer. Next is, we have to match the list 1 with list 2. So let us see. Democratic decentralization by B.R. Mehta Committee, Balwant Rai Mehta Committee. Nagar Panchayats ka provisions is given under 74th Amendment Act, also known as, also this act gave constitutional status to municipalities. Panchayati Raj elections, 73rd Amendment Act and 2-tier system was propounded by Ashok Mehta Committee in the year 1977. So what will be the correct answer of question number 34? It will be the D option. Okay. Now let us proceed to the next question. Which of the following are within the mandate of the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act? Disqualification provisions for the panchayat, yes. Setting up a finance commission under Article 243I, yes. Empowering the state election commission to hold periodic local government elections after every 5 years, yes. The three provisions are mentioned. Constitution of a district planning committee is not mentioned under the 73rd amendment, but it is mentioned in the 74th amendment act. Okay, so fourth provision is not true. 1, 2, 3 are correct. Now, under Article 243D, which one of the following categories enjoy reservation on the basis of their population? Now, I already told you 243D के अंदर on the basis of population, the reservation is given to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, and women के लिए there is a provision of 1/3 seats. Okay, so population के हिसाब से scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are given reservation. So A is the correct option here. Next is the member of Panchayat Samiti are elected directly by the people, yes, and their chairperson are elected indirectly. Okay, this I have explained you many times. A is the correct answer. Which of the following feature of Ashok Mehta Committee recommendation of the Panchayati Raj institution? So, constitutional recognition, yes, they featured this. Reservation, yes. Minister in charge of Panchayati Raj, yes. Non-involvement of political party in the elections, they were not proponent of this. Either they, to some extent, they wanted the involvement of political parties in the elections through the PRI. So 38 ka B is not correct answer here. Next is the 73rd constitutional amendment provided for 27% reservation for the OBCs. No reservation is given to the OBCs under the 73rd Amendment Act. So first statement is wrong. Chairperson of the Panchayat at the intermediate level shall be elected from amongst its members. Yes, there is a provision of indirect elections. So only second statement seems to be true here. Next is question number 40. Consider the following statement with reference to the 73rd Amendment Act. The governor of the state shall constitute a finance commission every 5th year to review the financial position of the states. Correct. The superintendent's direction and control of all the election to the panchayat are vested in the state election commission. Both the statement here are true. C is the right answer. Next is which one of the following committee has recommended people's participation in the community development programs? This is an important point you should know. It was the Balwant Rai Mehta committee. Next is the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act is the culmination of the process of democratic decentralization. Absolutely correct statement. The state should take steps to organize village panchayat, yes, and endow them with such power and authority as may be necessary to enable them to function as a unit of self-government. Absolutely true. Both the statement are true, but the statement 2 is nowhere related to the 73rd Amendment Act. Okay, B is the correct answer here. Next is consider with reference to the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, direct election of the members at all level. Absolutely correct. Direct election of the chairpersons at the village level. Next is indirect election of the chairperson at the intermediate and district level. Then there is mandatory provision for holding election. Yes, 1, 3 and 4 statement are true. Second statement is not true. That is why 43 ka D is the correct answer. Next is which one of the following government documents first suggested for having a Panchayati Raj institution on political party basis? So this provision was given by the Ashok Mehta Committee report. Next is consider the following with respect to the revolutionary features of the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. So the first one is bestow of constitutional status on the Panchayati Raj institution. Correct. Mandatory election to the PRIs. Yes. Introduction of third tier of government. Yes. 33% reservation of 1/3 seats reservation for the woman, chairperson for women at panchayat at each level. Yes, all of the provisions here are true. D is the correct answer. Under which provisions does the governor of the state constitute a state finance commission to review the financial position of the state? Now this is as per the 243I of the constitution. Okay, finance commission is given under 243I, not 1. C is the correct answer. Next is 73rd Amendment of the Constitution is provided for constitutional sanction for building a 3-tier. Yes. Reservation of seats for women. Yes, this provision is also given. Withdrawal of the right of government to hold elections. No. There is right to the government to hold elections after every 5 years. And taking away the right. No. 3 and 4 are very vague statement and incorrect. So 1 and 2 is correct. See, I have explained every of the provisions now, so there is no need to just extend that video. Okay, so that is why I'm covering these questions very quickly. Which part of if you want to solve this question, you can just pause the video and then solve and then see the answers to know the accuracy, how much accurate your answers are. In which part of the Indian Constitution is the provision for panchayat been made? It is made under part 9. 9A के अंदर municipalities है. This chapter of municipality also we are going to cover in the upcoming classes. Which of the following committees recommended the separation of regulatory and development functions at the district level? So just know the features. This was recommended by GVK Rao committee. Next is who recommend to governor the principle we should govern the distribution of tax distribution between the state and the panchayat of the net proceeds. So this is done by the State Finance Commission under Article 243I. Now, which of the following are provided for the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act? So which of these are the provisions? Election through the Chief Election Commissioner? No, not at all. 1 is incorrect. Devolution of funds? Yes. Creation of State Finance Commission? Yes. Setting up a 3-tiered Indian Federation? Yes. 2, 3 and 4 are correct. Election Commissioner के elections का कुछ नहीं है. The Ashok Mehta Committee was recommended for the establishment of what? So I already told you this in the explanation part. They recommended for a Mandal Panchayat. The 11th schedule of the Constitution relating to Panchayat contained 29 items. Next is 73rd Amendment Act. There is 27% reservation to OBC. No reservation is there for the OBC. All of these are correct where option 1 is mentioned. So 2, 3 and 4 sahi hai. Let us see the options. That the chairperson of the panchayat at the intermediate or district shall be elected by and from amongst the member elected thereof, reservation of SC/ST, 5-year term. So 2, 3 and 4 are correct. Now as per Article 243H of the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, the legislature of state may provide for making grants in aids to panchayat from what? So grants in aid are given from the consolidated fund of the state. This is a good question. Just remember this. Next is which of the following provision have been left to the will of the state government? Now, I already told you providing reservation to the backward classes is a voluntary feature that is under the purview of the state government. Other than that, all of the provisions mentioned in option B, C and D all are mandatory under 73rd Amendment Act. So A is the correct answer to this question. Next and the last question is we have to say the correct chronology. So what is the correct chronology? So सबसे पहले there is correct chronological order we have to say here. Now Balwant Rai Mehta Committee in the year 1957, Ashok Mehta Committee in 1977 and GKV Rao Committee in 1985. Now we know that there is option 3 after 3 there is option Santhanam Committee is in between. Okay, so 3, 1 and 2. Yes, this is mentioned under option C. So option C here is correct. Okay. So with this we are done with the chapter Panchayati Raj. I hope you have liked this video. आपको अच्छा लगा होगा chapter. So if you have loved this video, do give it a like and do mention your valuable thoughts in the comment sections. And thank you for watching.